This is a very good whiskey. As a guy who isn't super into bourbon yet, just a mostly a Scotch guy, this is good. I think I would give it Welcome back to another whiskey review. Tonight is in fact not a Scotch, it is a bourbon, a first for my channel. This bourbon is Smooth Ambler Old Scout. It is from a distillery from Maxwellton, West Virginia. You see it says straight. Actually, it's a straight bourbon, and what that means is it has to be at least 2 years old. But there is no age statement on the bottle, but with the rules of bourbon and whiskey, it doesn't need one if it's over the age of 4, but Smooth Ambler states that this bourbon is approximately 5 years old. Smooth Ambler actually sources this whiskey from MGP, which is Midwest Grain Products in Indiana, and they actually distill a lot of whiskeys from popular brands such as Bullet Rye and Angel's Envy Rye. All Smooth Ambler has to do is give MGP the mash bill, which is just a recipe for the whiskey, and they distill it and bottle it. The mash bill for this whiskey is 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malt. And fun fact, because rye is the second primary ingredient, this is a high rye bourbon, which will be a little more spicy. And I've never had a high rye before, so I'll be curious to see how this tastes here. I haven't opened this bottle yet either. This is fresh. This is a very raw review. This is 99 proof, 49.5% alcohol. Let's open this up and pour it out. I hope you heard that cork sound. It's awesome. All right, let's pour this out. It's actually a nice color. Swirl this bad boy around. The only other bourbon I've had is Old Forester. They are actually really good. My favorite from them is 1920 Prohibition. So I'm trying to get more and more into bourbon, and I heard a lot of good things about this one, so I'm really curious to give it a try. I'm going to nose this now. Okay, initially, ethanol, pretty prevalent, but there's also some underlying sweetness, and I'm getting that rye baking spice smell. So overall, I would say the nose is ethanol, rye spice, and a touch of sweetness. So my 8-month-old decided to take a dump in the bathtub, so I definitely need a good sip tonight. So I'm going to take my first sip now. Ooh. That's actually, it doesn't match the nose in a good way. That was way more pleasant than what I was expecting based on what I was smelling. You can definitely get the spice on the rye, and it's actually sitting on the back of my tongue. But there's a pleasant sweetness that sits there. And now the finish is just warming out. So definitely on the palate, spice. I'm going to say some figs. I'm getting some nice fig, like date kind of flavors on that palate. And the finish really mellows out into a very pleasant finish. Oh, and by the way, this is only a $45 bottle of whiskey. And I know the other two were $70 and $115, so this is a very affordable bottle. This is a very good whiskey. As a guy who isn't super into bourbon yet, just a mostly a Scotch guy, this is good. I think I would give it probably a 2 fingers on my finger scale, only because I think the nose is kind of just throws you off. If you went into a bar and said, "Let me smell that," you wouldn't want to drink it, to be honest. At least I wouldn't want to. But I'm reviewing it, so I'm going to drink it. But I'm glad I did, because the palate was really nice. Take another sip, actually. This is really good. I like that spicy rye. I like it. In fact, because of the price point, I give it a 3 fingers. If this was probably like $60-ish, it would be a 2. And it would be a 2 because of the nose throwing you off and the price point. But because the price point is so low and the taste I get, definitely worth the 3. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's a whiskey you want to see featured, let me know in the comments below. See you in the gameplay videos.